had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So then I'm doing IT, and when I go to plug the servers in, they become sentient, and they won't let us access our network unless we forward their chain emails and memes to more and more and more people, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant finds and invites best fit candidates to apply, so you can discover talent you may have missed. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Welcome to No Question About That. We're talking about Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3. What a win, Daniel. There's nothing quite like it, is there? Awesome stuff.
Oh, man. Yeah, we've been saying it for quite a long time, over the course of years, that they're good players. We've had some good players, apart from Van Gaal's team, it was just more or less full of arseholes, or good players who were finished or whatever. But we had good players, and we knew we had good players because even Amorim was getting some good stuff out of them sometimes. And yeah, because we've won some of these games before that have been a bit, we've stolen games, which is a great feeling. But these two games that we've won, no one could say we didn't deserve to win them.
That's right. 0.74 XG from open play. Over those two games, United have conceded. I don't know whether that's Michael Carrick or Steve Holland or some combination of all of them, or Harry Maguire being back or whatever. But United barely conceded an open play chance. You know what? I was looking at the stats, and Arsenal have created the 17th most goals from open play this season. They are shit.
I was chatting to a mate who's got a season ticket at Arsenal on Friday night. He was saying that he thinks Wenger will like it if United come out because then it'll be an open game like Inter. In the Premier League, there are teams putting 3 men on Saka. And I said, well, it should be the case in a proper team that if you put 3 men on Saka, you're fucked because there's someone on the other side.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he's so much better than the other players Arsenal have without being quite elite himself. And I don't mean that as a diss. I think he's a brilliant player. But he's not a superstar, someone who will win games on their own. He's not like the top, he's like a Rooney level of player or whatever. Yeah. So, and they don't really have anyone else. I think if you can stop him, and United I felt like also
doubled up
United were able to do it because they were going to be playing a left back, left wing.
Yeah.
Didn't know who was going to score another banger. Oh my goodness me.
Patrick Dorgu got the most defensive actions in the game as well. So, he obviously scored an insane goal.
I had a really strange relationship with this guy. I had a strange relationship with this game. I had to go to a bar mitzvah. So the deal was my wife would drive to it, and I basically had to concede that I would drive on the way home, which is not what anyone wants after a party. So then I'm sitting there, I'm watching. I think it's just going to be the last 15 minutes are going to be in the car. So I watch them on my phone in the car, fine. But then it turns out that my wife's got the time wrong. And then we get in the car and she's like, do you want to drive? Not really. So she drives, but obviously she wanted me to drive. So Dorgu scores that goal, and I can't celebrate it because I don't want to inflame any potential situation. So I sit there and I've just gone, goodness me, and that
goodness me.
I know, what the fuck? Because my daughter's in the back, so obviously I'm also moderating my language, but That was a good fucking goal. I mean,
there were 3 special goals. I mean, Bryan Mbeumo's excellent finish, rounded the keeper. One touch to control, one touch to round the keeper, another strike it home.
What I like about that one is as soon as he gets the ball, you're like, goal.
Yeah.
Like every confidence that he's going to deal with that situation.
Elite finisher. If you had to bet your house, life, someone in the United squad scoring from there, it'd be Mbeumo. He's been excellent this season, and in an up and down season for most United players. I think he's been consistently excellent. But I guess we start from the beginning. I was kind of dubious looking at the team sheet whether that was the right approach exactly, because I thought Arsenal don't concede anything on transitions at all. Last week was set up to be transitional football against the City side who are open on transitions. I was kind of suspicious whether Dorgu's sort of pace would actually make any difference when there wasn't a lot of open grass to run into, whether we wouldn't have been better having Cunha's ball carrying and Sesko to hold it up, but it proved totally wrong. And, in the end, I mean, it was a difficult first 20 minutes, wasn't it? But in the end, exactly the right tactics to take advantage of Arsenal's few weaknesses.
I didn't think that he'd change it because I thought the instructions for the game would be different, but I thought he'd want the same personnel because that's the kind of the players that he played in those positions have the things that he wants. Like when he was a Borough, he didn't have a big Sesko style centre forward, so I'm not surprised that he wants to play Mbeumo there. And it pissed me off all the time that when we play one up under Amorim, it was Cunha, not Mbeumo. When Mbeumo, Cunha's a failed centre forward. I don't mean that as an insult. He's excellent what he does now, but he's not a centre forward because he wasn't good enough at playing that position. And Mbeumo has more of the qualities. He's got pace in behind. He's a brilliant finisher. He's direct. There's a lot of things he can do that Cunha doesn't really do.
Yeah.
And I think the two differences of Carrick, and we can talk about, there's various differences, obviously, like the way that United are playing, things he's telling them to do, and also the intent and the conviction is a big difference. But also in the current parlance of the internet, or I guess probably the world of football, really, like he's profiling the players accurately and he's platforming them accurately. He's asking them to do the things that they're really good at doing because he has a much better understanding of what that is than Amorim seemed to.
Yeah, or Amorim couldn't get out of his own way. He probably, I mean, after 14 months with the players, he must have known what they were good at and what they weren't good at, but his system came before the players, and Carrick's gone the other way around and said, hey, players, best positions, we're going to do what you're good at and fit the tactical approach around that, mostly. But
he knows what the players are able to do, but that's different to when it comes to like that alchemy that makes a football team.
Yeah.
And he couldn't, like the fact that he just kept getting the wing backs on the ball in the penalty area. He couldn't get our best players on the ball in the penalty area. He couldn't, even though, as you say, he must have known what the players could and couldn't do. He couldn't get them in the right places, really. And that wasn't all about the formation. It was also just about the way that he was telling them to play that formation. It was also part of it. But I didn't think Carrick would change that team because also, like, having someone like Cunha to bring on. Like, did you watch the Arsenal Bayern game in the Champions League? I mean, they all merge into one, really.
They do. I watched Arsenal Inter this week. I don't remember. I don't think I watched the Arsenal Bayern game.
So in the Bayern game, it's a good game. It's actually, probably maybe the highest level game I've seen this season. Maybe that was a good game of football. But after about an hour, Arsenal take off two massive athletes or three, whatever it was, and bring on two or three proper athletes. And Bayern couldn't do that, and felt that really won Arsenal the game. And I thought this before when I saw that you got Cunha, Sesko on the bench. Suddenly United can do that, like players that can come on and make a difference. But I think, Carrick wanted a team, the shape of the team now that he's played in both these games, the shape of the team he wants. I think we'll probably see Sesko and Cunha get starts here and there because he sort of has to. Like he wants it to keep it happy, and then whoever the manager is next season, we should get Europe really. There'll be some kind of European competition, which means there are plenty of games for everyone, so it's not so much of a problem. But he wants the team to look like that. Just the instructions will be different. And as you said, it was a difficult first 20 because Arsenal probably actually, this feels bizarre to say in a way, one of the few teams in the league that can sort of dominate United physically. And it felt like they did dominate us physically at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, Carrick said after the game that he knew the first 20 would be like that, and that they'd prepared for it. So I guess they were prepared to cede possession and see if that They did press, not for that long.
Not really. Like they were sitting on halfway, and basically, if Arsenal got the ball up the field, they would then sit off them, but Arsenal, like, they only threatened. They had that one from one header, that really good save from Lummans, and oh my God, we would have lost that game heavily not heavily, but if Onana's in goal. And it's just one of those things that makes me remember sometimes. We're here. It didn't matter how well United played. And do you remember how well we played in the first half of all those Champions League games in that season under Ten Hag? And he just keeps throwing them in.
Lummans has proven to be a very, very good buy indeed. You know, we'll see where his kind of ceiling is, and especially in distribution is kind of. I think it's still going long quite a lot, although there was a fun moment when he was press baiting for a while today. He had his foot, he rolled his studs over the ball and waited for Arsenal to press him.
Yeah, he can get the ball downfield. Like, he's not the deathless passenger. Maybe he's not even a brilliant goalkeeper, but we've been used to such fucking disgraceful goalkeeping over quite a long period that anyone who's just like, competence is fine. For the money that we paid for him, it's absolutely fine. And if Radek Vitek is better than him, or if we think he's not good enough and there's someone else, okay. But for now, just having a bloke not tossing them in has made an unbelievable amount of difference. You couldn't win a game with Onana sometimes for that reason. Like, so many times there were games that if we just have had someone not fucking dreadful in net, we would have won, that we lost.
Yeah. What did you make of Arsenal's opening goal? It's one of the few sort of open play chances they created in that first half. Despite like dominating, they weren't creating a lot of chances, really.
No, it was scruffy.
It's scrappy, wasn't it? It's scruffy. I guess it's a mishit by Odegaard, and then I feel like Martinez got himself in the wrong position. So he just air shot it, and it's hit his wrong leg.
I mean, yeah, it was a mess. I mean, Dorgu, initially the ball comes over and Dorgu doesn't get rid of it. And I mean, that's the thing with him, because I think we were kind of getting to a point with Dorgu where we were like, is he, just before he started scoring, right, we're like, is he getting better? But then he does something crap and you're just like, no. But on reflection, I think over the weeks sort of around the Newcastle game, he was sort of doing a few more good things. I mean, but he's still, the defender, I mean, all of it needs work, and it is a bad defensive header that then enables them to score. But I guess in his defence, some other shit had to go wrong subsequently.
Yeah. And I mean, given how few goals Arsenal concede, a surprise that they gifted us an equaliser, I guess. I mean, it's Zubimendi, isn't it? I don't know whether the balance of that midfield's right. I've seen Arsenal a few times and thought, Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, I know they get a lot of possession, but they're not creating from that. And Odegaard's obviously just massively overrated by Arsenal fans and nobody else.
He had one brilliant season, Odegaard, the first season they challenged. I was like, oh shit, I was pleased when Arsenal got him, because I was like, I thought they might spend the money on someone proper. And then it's like, oh, okay, I was wrong about him. But he hasn't been particularly good since then.
And I do wonder whether they kind of regret their spending in the summer now, because they've spent big on squad depth, haven't they? You know, so that they got Trossard, Martinelli and Madueke for the left, and Saka and Madueke for the right. And they just kept and Eze as well in midfield didn't start today, and Merino and Zubimendi and Rice, and they've got all this depth, and they've got like 2 fullbacks for each position as well. You know, they're all like £50 million players there.
Yeah, he's been bought almost like, if you take Saka out, they've bought him 2 full teams of high level players.
Yeah.
And he's got rid of some. But I think, like it doesn't quite work. And when, like, what you talk about the midfield, that's partly the case that because football is a constant like battle to cover areas, like you add something in one area, you lose it in another. So if you have a more creative goal-scoring player, then you're going to lose a little bit of control. Like we see it with Bruno Fernandes, and you sort of have these players like who do different things. Like Rice is another player who was a brilliant player, but what is he? And because he's not a perfect 6 or a perfect 8. Obviously, any team that has him in it is better, but it's going to leave you with things that you're trying to compensate for that you don't have because he doesn't do them. Mm-hmm. So he's not that great taking the ball off the defence when he's being pressed, and his passing's not that good either. So, which is why he's not as good as a number 8. He's done amazingly to add like the set pieces to it. He's scoring more goals, But because he has those holes in his game, they're trying to find someone else who can give you that. And then if that person's Zubimendi, say, who does give you a bit of that, like the control as a number 6, right? But he's not physical, is he?
No.
And that was sort of why that ball got given away. I think he knew that someone was going to come after him, and it's just most teams won't necessarily try and do that against Arsenal. They might sit off, but I mean they do defend well. And I sometimes wonder with Arteta, is it that he doesn't know how to get an attack going? He doesn't have as good an eye for attacker or for coaching attacking, or is it that he wants control so much? Is it just control freakery that means that he's so is he a better out of possession coach than in possession coach? Is it that, or is it the way that his little trousers with his little bollocks very safety first, really?
Yeah, I suspect it's the latter, but it could be the former. And one would imagine if they had discovered a weakness in his coaching that they'd complete his, backroom team, right? That should be easy to buy in, shouldn't it? And I don't know. I just think he's too conservative.
New Year, same extra value meals at McDonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps plus fries and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
Every sip of Coca-Cola brings you closer to the excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26. Because nothing compares to the joy. So grab a Coke and drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary. 13 plus in 50 U.S. states and D.C. with a web-enabled device. Ends March 1st with 8 entry periods. Rules at cokeurl.com/soccerrules.
Good morning, Crust. It's a great day to be a bread brother.
Ugh, mornings are not my jam. Or jelly.
Oh, come on. Stop loafing around.
I just woke up feeling hollow inside.
Psst, just grab one of the new Morning Uncrustables sandwiches, like Bright-Eyed Berry or Up and Apple, filled with 12 grams of protein and tons of deliciousness. Crust, what are you eating?
It's just granola, not even yogurt.
No crust, no fuss. Uncrust your mornings.
I don't know, what is it about North London Forever that hasn't got him, his juices flowing and everyone, that fucking stadium as well. I haven't been to the Emirates many times, like maybe 3 times, and I've always thought it's an utterly shit stadium, soulless hole of a stadium. I hate it.
I remember the first time I went, the first season we played there where we lose to the 2 late goals, and it's just like, oh my days, you knocked down Highbury for this. What the fuck?
Highbury was a proper stadium as well.
And what also happens at the same time is they hadn't legislated for Abramovich. So what did they get for it? Basically fuck all, because then Abramovich came along, Abu Dhabi came along, Fergie was still there. So they ended up basically getting nothing for it, really.
That's our first win there since 2017 in the league. That is obviously one cup on penalties.
I wasn't there today, but I was at the 2017 one.
That was the Lingard, right? Mini rock. Pogba got sent off.
No, Pogba scores. Yeah. It was that one. Where De Gea makes a load of saves. That like a Mourinho, like a classic Mourinho kind of situation.
Classic Mourinho, yeah.
But this was a much better performance than that, because basically after the goal, and I think one of the main things that happens to change this game is that mainly Kobe starts to find the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we always criticised him for, because when Amorim wasn't picking him, we loved him as a player before he even got into the first team. Mm-hmm. And so someone you're excited comes through, then they start playing, and oh shit, they are as good as we thought they were. But then obviously you see more of a player, you kind of realise the things that they do a bit less well. So when you've got a manager who is not picking him, who obviously knows more about football than we do, you're like, well, I do have reservations about him, not reservations about him, his ability to be a United player, but I can see the holes in his game. And one of the biggest holes in his game has been getting on the ball enough. I think he's getting a lot better at that. And the passing, I've never really felt was too much of a problem, because we've seen him at youth level, he could definitely do it. It's more about the instructions that he's getting, yeah. I think. Yeah, and because one of the things, the first time I saw him play was I thought, this guy can really wait a pass.
Mm.
And once he started to find the ball and like pick it up in pockets, and he didn't do anything particularly special, it was more like continuity passing that just lets you pull yourself. It's a connector.
The passing got a little bit ragged in the second half. I guess is he tired? I don't know how match fit he is really. I mean, he's played 2 back-to-back 90s now, which will do him good. He by the way, he ran the most of anyone on the pitch today, and he did it last week against City as well. And the other stat, he made the most sprints, high-intensity sprints today. So
big up, hold tight. And there's a lot more to come as well, because as we said, like he's not been playing much, and he's basically missed a year of his career through dickheadery. And as he gets fitter, and also it's about building rapport with the players. And I mean, what do you think Amorim is thinking when he's watching this?
I think he's probably looking at his bank account and feeling himself £10 million richer. It's softened the blow.
No, professionally, he's a professional. He's got pride. I don't think it's just obviously he's pleased to have the payoff, but yeah, because it's in a different way. It felt like when Ole took over from Mourinho, all Ole really had to do was just get the players playing for him because they weren't really trying. Just pick some players, and there are some good attackers. It couldn't be worse, and that was a total repudiation of Mourinho, because it was like the opposite. Yeah, like look, you're an arsehole to them. I'm not being an arsehole to them. That's literally all I'm doing. And look, and this is a repudiation in a different way, because it's just more to do with they're sent out to play with conviction. It got rid of that stupid formation. It's the same players, and obviously Amorim did get really unlucky with the injuries and AFCON at the same time.
Yeah.
And if that hadn't happened, if there'd been no injuries and no AFCON, he'd still be manager of United, I think.
Yeah, but it was probably a matter of time, given the weird decisions he was making. Yeah, well, look, to be more serious about it. Yeah, I mean, I think that will sort of define whether he becomes a really top manager that he kind of thinks he is, right? If he can learn the lessons of this failure at United, and it was a big failure, 31% win rate in the Premier League.
Losing a final to Tottenham, finishing 15th. I mean,
exactly, getting complete cucked by Tottenham in the Europa League. He should look at it and go, okay, what went wrong? How can someone who's had 3 seasons managing in the Championship suddenly turn this team around?
He's playing a player you literally basically refused to play. You, for no reason at all, put him in direct competition with the captain and best player, basically saying could only be one of them. And then more or less refused to put him on the pitch. And now he's on the pitch and he's making a difference in 2 great wins against the top 2. And it's just, if he's not, I mean, I don't want people, like, shame's not a good emotion. I was watching an interview with the woman who wrote, what's that BBC doc called? Like, not doc, a series, like it was Happy Valley, get her name. And she said, the psychologist told her that the thing that people will go the furthest to avoid feeling is shame. So that's like when she's setting up motivations for characters to do terrible shit, like that's one of the things she always taps into. Shame is the thing that people will go furthest to avoid feeling. So, but yeah, I don't want Amorim to feel shame exactly, but I think I would fear the shames by watching that. Just after maybe it'll all go to shit, mate, and we just can't get another point.
Seems unlikely.
Just the very particular way that Carrick has gone about it. He's not playing your formation. He's playing a player you wouldn't pick, and they're playing with freedom and proactivity.
Yeah.
And it's just all the things that you weren't doing. They're not bringing on a centre-back for an outside centre-back.
Hasn't happened once yet.
They're making substitutions that are affecting the flow of the game. And yeah, if I was him, I'd be happy with the money, but I'd be hurting.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. I tell you what I feel ashamed about. Minor shame from this game. Diogo Dalot played again. That one where he fouled near the end of the game. I think is it 2-2 at that point, and he pushes one of the Arsenal players over. I'm like, I don't think I've ever witnessed a dumber footballer. I know nothing about his IQ.
He's bright. He seems actually he's quite articulate, Dalot. Seems like actually quite bright. That
he's probably perfectly intelligent, but he's a dumb footballer.
So City, actually, I thought he played well against City. That felt like one of those games Fergie used to talk about, and you get them maybe once or twice a season where you get, I think, like he said, an 8 out of 10 from every player. You don't. And that City game felt a bit like that. This one didn't. This one felt more like they found a way to win by winning the big moments. But I'm not saying they didn't play well, but it wasn't a dominant performance.
No, sure, yeah. And Yeah, whereas City was dominant, even if they had 68% possession, that was entirely intended, the way that game flowed, and everything was based around United's game. Tonight was slightly different. I mean, they scored 2 absolute worldies. You wouldn't normally expect to score, right?
Right, but do you remember a few weeks ago we were talking about the quality of the finishing? Always see when you're losing or not doing well. You don't. The decisions don't. The bounces don't seem to go for you. The other opposition are finishing brilliantly, and we're now sort of on the other end of that. If you do the right things, then the right things are more likely to happen to you.
Yeah, well, and Cunha, it's not luck, right? He's done that so many times for Wolves.
He bought for that shit, really. He takes a lot of shots from outside the box, not because he's a wastrel or trying to play hero ball, although he does like a bit of that, but it's because he's really good at those shots. So. But before that, I felt like United sort of, I wouldn't control maybe a bit strong, but we're definitely the side that we're looking likely. And ultimately, I think we've got better forwards than Arsenal do.
It's a fair argument. It's been the whole week arguing about whether this Arsenal would beat 2008 United. Come on, don't insult us, fuck's sake. That just insulted my intelligence, that debate. But they sorted that debate out tonight, didn't they? Deary me.
And when you kind of watch United play now, and you're thinking about what's the team going to look like from here, and because if you get a decent replacement for Casemiro and a right back, then you're quite a long way towards having a good team and some options.
Yeah, I mean, we know Casemiro will have to be replaced, but there's £30 million a year that is being freed up there. That is all of Elliot Anderson and a bit left over, actually, in the way. I mean, given that his wages won't be that massive, whether it's him or someone else of that kind of profile and quality. Right back, yes. I mean, depends how we think about Mazraoui going forward. Do we need? I wonder with Luke Shaw as well. We didn't see him bombing forward much today. Maybe that was the plan. Is he physical enough? He's got 1 more year on his contract. Might be 2 fullbacks, or is Dorgu a fullback? Do we know?
Luke Shaw is sort of the classic wilderness years type of player. His top level is really fucking exceptional, and his bottom level is appalling, and he hits it more often than you would like, or something close to it. And that's the problem with Luke Shaw. And it's the problem with the million players we've seen. It was a problem with Marcus Rashford. Brilliant player when he's playing well, fucking dreadful a lot of the time when he isn't. And because we've seen, so many in this time, it was really only around the Van Gaal Moyes period where it's like, God, there aren't many cunts in this team I really want to watch play football. This is awful. But that aside, we've had Bruno for years. We've had Pogba, Greenwood, Rashford, players who were capable of really doing good shit. They just didn't do it often enough. And yeah, sure is that. I think at this point, it seems unlikely he's ever going to be consistent. The question is, what's Dorgu going to be? And how do you evolve the team? So, because now, I mean, we don't know who the manager's going to be. I mean, and if it carries on like this, who knows, Carrick's going to be part of that conversation. And then the kind of player that they would want there, I mean, we can see Carrick wants a left winger.
Likely. I mean, we'll find out whether these 2 selections were very specific for these games and how much he changes up. I mean, it's Fulham at home next weekend. That's a completely different game altogether that one would imagine there'll be a slightly different approach to, because it won't be transitional football and we will have 50-60% of the possession and all of that kind of stuff.
We'll talk about it in a bit, but Fulham are a good team. That's a difficult go.
They're a good team, yeah, but not as good. There are a bunch of options for United. There are probably 10 sort of high-level managers available this summer, both World Cup managers and others. I looking at the profiles of them, there's not many I'm desperate for, despite the sort of profile of them. And the World Cup gets in the way, which means, there's a fair chance that one of the managers they'll be interested in, and presumably they're trying to talk to all of them now already, right? Will be at the World Cup and tied up until the middle of July at least. And just because of that, Carrick, of course, will be in the conversation. And if he goes and wins another 15 games in a row,
I mean, the problem that you have is, because you end up with that situation where if they do give it to Carrick, it's just like Ole. And it feels like the pressure to not make that mistake again.
Yeah, that's why they're very clear with his contract now. He's head coach until the summer.
I mean, they've been clear with it as well, just because, they don't want that speculation. But, if he does finish fourth, playing good football, then he's sort of proved that he can do the job by doing the job. And I guess in a different way. I mean, I'm sure he wants the job.
Do you know, Dan, I know this is a stupid thing to talk about, but Wolves, Bournemouth, Everton, a Chelsea game when they're down to 10 men.
Yeah, we should be top of the league. Agree.
Should be top of the bloody league. Mad.
I bet on us to win the league to start the season, actually.
It's, now you tell us. You've jinxed it now.
Each way, because I just felt like, I didn't know how it was going to go under Amorim, and I obviously wasn't particularly confident, but at the same time, I felt like there's just so many, like, if these attackers start scoring goals, then that would be a difficult team to beat. Like, with the players that United have got, to lose a game, the other team should have to score 3, I'd say. And towards the end of the Amorim period, we started to look not bad in attack. Not all the time, but yeah, we should be top of the league, agree. And
well, second most XG. It's really the defensive side of the game that's let us down, and they've been just nigh on perfect defensively the last 2 games. I mean, they've conceded 2 absolutely mess of a goal today. I mean, it's not a great header from Patrick Dorgu for the first one, and the second one, that is League One standard stuff. It's just awful. Like, do you think Arsenal fans actually enjoy? I mean, they cheer like they've scored a goal every time they get a corner. Do you think they enjoy this?
1 goal is equal to 1 goal, however it goes in. So yeah, like I don't have a problem with celebrating scabby goals, and actually it should, like, the thing about the throw-ins and the corners, like, I don't have a problem with that either. Football should always have been like this. Like, for years you sit there going, why do you always hit the first man with corners? Like, it's like, you can practice this, you can get goals, and like, ultimately you want to win, but playing good football and scoring set pieces, those 2 things are not mutually exclusive. They're almost fucking unrelated to each other.
No, I mean, you're right, but it should be a marginal gain. I do wonder whether they, like, almost some of their patterns are deliberately to get the ball into the corner and force a corner, get the ball into the channels and force corners.
But that just puts pressure on the opposition. Like, it's like when United, we're coming back, like, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because the other teams know it's going to come and they're frightened of it. And now we got done by set pieces by Arsenal last season as well. And so actually, I felt like the way that we dealt with them, I mean, I think we conceded from one, but that one aside, we actually dealt with them pretty well. And the goalkeeper did a good job.
Yeah. I mean, even the one we conceded, Jurgen Timbers, he's fouling, he's pulling and holding and dragging.
There are about 17 fouls in there. I mean, it's just so hard to follow them all.
One of my favourite parts of the game was when Harry Maguire picked up Saliba and just chucked him.
Like he did to Bernardo last week.
Yeah, he just picks him up and throws him. I was like, brilliant.
I mean, he had a good game, Big Harrens, again. And I mean, yeah, he was man of the match on the telly, wasn't he?
He was man of the match on the telly. To be honest, I thought for all the work he did, it was maybe Cobby, or maybe my Cobby bias is getting to me, but I thought he really helped United not collapse in midfield. Or Casemiro is brilliant as well. Word for him announced this week that he is leaving at the end of his contract. No surprise at all. I think that was given. It's more than £15 million a year, and if United do in European competition, even more than that, and another 15 on the amortisation.
Him and Varane, just proper champions, just complete champions, and have come to United and given it everything. And yeah, respect to them for that.
Yeah. Not great financial deal, but we'll miss his leadership and his set-piece ability. But
he just seems like a cool dude, Casemiro.
Yeah, and you don't expect his level to drop at all.
Yeah, he's come to United, he's appreciated being there, and he's tried his best. I mean, there was that pre-season he turned up and he looked like he'd eaten himself. But apart from that, since he got back into the team under Amorim, he's been consistently excellent, and without him, we've looked appalling.
Yeah, and 1 game a week from now on. I think there's 2 midweeks total between now and the end of the season.
Is it Newcastle and Everton? West Ham. West Ham's all.
West Ham. It's the 7th and the 10th, and then a month or so later, isn't it? So those will be interesting ones, whether we're forced to see a little bit of Manuel Ugarte during that period or not.
I mean, there doesn't seem to be much appetite for that. But yeah, the second goal. Did you think it was handball?
No, it looked like it hit his hip to me. And I mean, they reviewed it, and I think the VAR said that there was no conclusive evidence. So
I was concerned when I saw it. I was concerned.
On the 17th showing of it, I was like, yeah, I think that's probably fine. Probably fine. I was a bit worried, but
just I mean, I think like just the confidence to hit that, you can, and then he even just straight after the goal, he tries again to like slam one in. It's just. Not that long ago, Amorim was completely unnecessarily dissing him. And, I mean, I guess when you see him...
What did he say? He's always anxious when he gets the ball. And maybe he was anxious because of Amorim.
Part of me's going, well, because I'm trying to like understand why he's doing it. And you're thinking, well, maybe he's tried everything else. But how can he try everything else in so short a period of time with like a young player? And if someone feels anxious, then their boss cunting them off to the entire world is presumably not going to assuage any of that anxiety. But I mean, it's also just like, at what point as a player and all the other players, you know, it's going to be, this guy's a prick.
Well, they may well have thought that, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to make of Patrick Dorgu, because he's put 2 brilliant balls in the last 4 or 5 games from the left, and we thought he could never do that. He's now scored, I think it's 5 goals and assists he's got in the last 5 or 6 games. It's a couple of great goals. His level seems to have gone up. I mean, there are moments... And the best stuff has obviously come in areas where we thought he was crap, honestly. I wrote some nice words about him back in November or something like that. And I was like, I read it back to myself and I was like, yeah, this is bollocks, isn't it? He's not shown anything at all, but like fair play to him.
He was good at the beginning, right at the beginning. He showed some ability and he was sort of forging a good relationship with Bruno. They seemed on the same wavelength. So you're like, okay, good sign. And then the lack of end product started to get frustrating.
Yeah.
And you don't, you know, obviously he's a young kid who's moved, he was quite raw, who's moved from another country. So obviously it should take time. But at the same time, I guess he'd been bought to go straight into the team. So maybe I felt like he'd be further along than he was. But he's a funny combination of things, isn't he? Because I think he's got quite good football brain. Like he's good at timing arrivals to places, I think.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. I think he does get in the right positions. Yeah.
Being around when things are happening. But then there are other times when his decision-making felt quite rushed, or his touch was not what you would expect from someone at that point, where it's like, well, I would expect your touch to already be better than this. But yeah, I guess like the timing, the physicality, back that up with confidence, and you've got a handful.
Indeed. Well, this is, I mean, the players should be in like massive amounts of confidence now. Like what a turnaround from 2 weeks ago.
It was one of those goals where it felt like there's like a moment of silence as like everyone's brains are like computing what the fuck just happened.
I love a ball that goes in off the crossbar as well. Just adds extra.
Oh, everything about that goal was just outrageous. And yeah, like I think we haven't scored very many good goals, I don't think, this season.
No, there's 3 moments of absolute magic in this last game. 5 if you add it across the week, and that's more than we've had all season, basically, or maybe on 14 months under Amorim. So what's a realistic target from here? Obviously, it's European football of some kind, but... we do have some tough games coming up. Obviously, you know, we've still got to play Liverpool again and Chelsea again.
They've got to play us,
and so on, and Villa, and Newcastle away.
Yeah, but all these teams have got to play us, and yeah. I mean, it feels like that it's 2 out of United, Chelsea, and Liverpool will get into the Champions League because 5th will be enough, probably. So. That's the aim. I mean, not just because we're 4th now. I felt that was the aim when Carrick took over. I felt like even towards the end of Amorim, we're like, it's still there.
Yeah,
we keep fucking up in the way that Arsenal do as well. Like every time Arsenal have had a chance to sort of build like a proper lead, like 7, 8, 9 points, they fucked it. And similarly with us, but the other teams, because the other teams are all about as good as each other, which isn't very good, no one's been able to get ahead. So from here, if the big players stay fit, we should finish above Chelsea or Liverpool, one of those, because I feel like there's a more coherent team there. Like if we're not conceding very many goals, then we're going to win almost all the games because of the firepower.
I guess Chelsea could go on a run. You'd feel pretty confident that Liverpool will continue to lose games. So they have a lot of possession and still manage to concede stupid goals every single week.
Yeah, with Chelsea, like, they could have gone behind today before they scored. Like, they've got some good players, but they're not a coherent outfit, really. And yeah, like they don't have a reliable scorer, particularly, and the defense isn't that good.
Yeah, I thought they might spend money.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but from here, we should get top 5, I would say.
Yeah, it feels extremely realistic. But then again, these guys have mugged us off all season, haven't they? But maybe now no longer. Maybe they've just got players platformed, you know, in the places that they're going to perform best. And we have got some very good players. And if they can not have any more injuries, like defensive injuries, this back four or some variant of it shouldn't concede that many goals. Like, definitely not to the levels they were conceding. And that should get United quite a lot of points, and it will only take 61 or 62 to get into the Champions League, maybe even less actually for 5th.
And when you've got Cunha able to come off the bench, that goal was, I mean, the passing before it as well with Bruno and Mainu was very nice. And at this point I'm at the Bat Mitzvah and it's the first dance, and so I've got my phone, and it's just, then there's this song, it's called Hashem Melech. It's like about what a boss God is, obviously. It's like a dance tune talking about what a boss God is. And as we were doing it, you literally intervened in real time. And then you're at this party, and obviously United had beaten Arsenal. It's like, this is cool. Like, to love that, cool people, great party. My family are there. And really, all I want to do is just like talk about United and consume every piece of United-related content I can find. And it wasn't the people whose Simcha it was. They're not like, they're mates, but they're not like, we didn't know. It wasn't one of those where we know everyone who's there. But I had like one mate there, and he was an Arsenal fan that has a season ticket at Arsenal. And so he obviously can talk about the game properly, but I don't want to rub it in.
Why not?
Because I don't know, I don't want to be a dick about it. So I'm just like, at the party, but at the same time, I'm like, there's a Yiddish word for cleansed, which is like a bit like this. Like, because I want to talk about United and I can't.
Well, I got straight on WhatsApp and messaged every Arsenal fan I knew, you know, how's it going, mate? Doing it up to much today?
But yeah, it's the shit that goes for you. And Cunha actually, that's, as I said before, it's not exactly that category, because that's what he does. Like, that's one of the reasons you buy him, because he's way above average at shooting from around the box environs.
Optimizing for good luck, basically. Like in buying him there, it's, yeah. It may be high variance on that kind of skill set, but if you're good at it, you're good at it, and he's good at it, proven.
And it's just as good, because he's a player will get pissed off about not being in the team, but it's hard to get pissed off when you're coming on in the derby and making a goal, and then coming on this game and scoring a winner. You can't say to the manager, well, you're wrong to put me on the bench, and you're getting such a buzz off what you're doing that, again, you're not pissed off.
He wasn't pissed off at all. He gave one of the post-match interviews. He was, he said Michael Carrick, he said the manager had spoken to him about it. So I think he was all cool. And Carrick has straight-batted every single question so far. He doesn't give a lot away, does he, in press conferences? He's brushed off. He was asked about getting the job permanently. He says, I'm not going to answer that every week. So good. He'll be asked it every week. But,
it's been almost like it's been a perfect performance from him, really. I mean, when we were sitting here and we're like, what a start, like he could easily have we were talking about whether we get the Champions League. He was like, well, we could have no more points in 2 weeks' time. But to get 6 and, oh man, and for Liverpool away to Bournemouth to concede in the last minute and then the schlep home,
Virgil van Dijk being shite again.
And yeah, I mean, Carragher was just like, he was going after, who was he going after on the telly? One of the, I think it was one of the Palace defenders. And it's like, got any this energy for Van Dijk, mate, for whom you think there needs to be a special level of football? And Van Dijk was brilliant but for him to be considered, he wasn't brilliant for long enough to be considered one of the best. And it's not all his fault, I don't suppose. I mean, he did his cruciate at a time when, you're never going to, like that, do your cruciate at that time, that age, you're not going to be the same player.
You know, he's not been the same player since that Liverpool YouTuber, I forget his name now, the fat guy, who's bald-headed, larger gentleman. You can message him for £2, so there's been plenty of people sending me insults. Oh dear, you asked for it. I'm sure he'll take it if it earns him a bit of cash.
I mean, I saw a montage of the various Liverpool fan channels when that goal was scored, and it's like part of it is like how seriously they take it, but in like a po-faced way. I don't mean like, obviously, like we all take football to quite a significant degree of seriousness in how long we devote of our time to talking about it, thinking about it, watching it, all of that, reading about it.
Yeah.
But not in like, it's like United's doesn't feel po-faced in the same way where it like makes you miserable. I mean, obviously it hasn't been that entertaining, it hasn't been good recently, but you just have to enjoy it for what it is, I think, but like just like the long silences and like, oh my God, you're going to carry this around for like your wife, you're going to see your wife and your kids, and it's like, they're going to properly know that your football team is lost in the way that I don't know, like, it just feels like, there's like a po-facedness sometimes to it that comes from, and maybe it's just the internet.
Yeah, it's some of the internet. There's a lot of performance. You know, it's hard to know what's real sometimes. It's why I've never really wanted to do any of that kind of type of content, really. I don't think I'd enjoy it much.
And I felt like United saw out the win also.
Very well.
In pretty decent fashion.
Had 7 minutes comes up and they managed it. They wasted time. They took it into the corners. Arteta complaining about wasted time. Come on. Irony truly is dead, Dan.
Oh man, I was trying to work out what it is about him that I just like find so personally agitating is not the right word. It's just he's too intense. But I like intense people. It's not that. It's like, I think it's the joylessness, the intensity with the joylessness. I find deeply unappealing.
Yeah, he's very highly strung.
And also, I feel like and you add that with like, I find like misplaced arrogance in that the way you talk about how good you think your team is, and then by implication, how good you think you are, is like you're way off here. But I mean, they still might win the league, but yeah, I mean, it's only January.
I think there's a very good chance they blow it from here, because that again, it's the Emirates. They get on the back.
They got booed off at the end today?
I think they'll drop points at home. They've been brilliant at home. They conceded 5 goals at home all season until tonight. That's, the lack of chances for the opposition is what's won them so many points, but they get on their back. I think there'll be some games where they blow it. So, not that I'm wishing City victory in the league, obviously.
I mean, no, 4 points in January is nothing.
Nothing.
Like that, but it's obviously been more than that. And yeah, not being Forest last week was a massive oversight. Like the opportunity to stretch the lead at that point when City have lost to us that was a massive oversight. But that's the thing, is that there's not that much between all the teams in the league, because the teams that, as we keep saying, the teams sort of middle to bottom have never been better, and the teams at the top aren't that good.
No, and there's just so much money. I know there's not been a lot of money spent in the league this winter, apart from City spending money, as always. Like they're not about to get punished severely for their decades worth of rampant cheating. But when you're in Bournemouth buying up 19-year-old Brazilians for 30 million quid in January, I mean, it's clearly, there's just nothing that can compete with that. So there's a hell of a lot of depth and quality and a lot of flawed teams this year.
And it's also just because there are more good footballers in the world than there have ever been. Like it's partly the Premier League obviously able to binned on every other league. But it's also the case that there are just loads of brilliant footballers in the world. So there are more to go around, I think.
Yeah. All right. On which note, 3 brilliant footballers scored 3 brilliant goals tonight for United.
Boomer, boomer. So they played Mbop at the party we were at, and I was just singing Mbeumo. That was, yeah. Is that my high? Da Boomer.
Yeah. Do yourself mischief going that high, Dan. Be careful.
And it's so frustrating that we don't have any more games.
I know. You just want it to come tomorrow, don't you? The next one.
But Fulham are a good team, and I feel like we owe them one. I didn't like the gobshiting after they managed to escape with the draw and make out like they somehow outthought us, which I didn't really feel that. I mean, whilst they did pick correct flaws in the system, it didn't feel like they had particularly exploited them to make us look like twats in the game.
Mm. Yes, I think they were crowing a little bit after that one. But yes, we owe them one. Where are they in the league at the moment, Fulham? They're doing all right, aren't they?
Yeah, not that far below us, well, they definitely weren't before we won today. But I think of the managers you could get from the Premier League to manage United, like him, Iraola and Glasner, he's the one who probably tactically would be most likely to be able to adapt in a way that Thomas Frank's not adapted at Tottenham.
Yeah, it's the closest. Iraola, the intensity I like
him too.
The intensity of football, and it's good attacking football. They are very, very direct. And I guess that's what you have to do with that kind of budget. You know, they got the smallest budget in the Premier League, basically.
But you'd have to control games and to do that in Europe and to do it over a long season.
It would be a big stretch. Glasner, I just can't see how you take his game model and move it to Old Trafford.
And also, it's like, what are Palace going to do? Like, if Palace playing Forest next week, if they lose that, I think they're 8 points ahead of West Ham. I think if West Ham win 2 more games before they win any, yeah, and West Ham they've apparently hired a coach who's made a difference. They seem to be improving. So, I mean, it's sort of almost a classic thing, isn't it? That they win the cup and then it all goes to shit after that because. But the reason it's gone to shit for them is partly because they just didn't give the man. They sold Eze. They almost sold Gay. They've sold him now. And they didn't. You can't take on the Premier League and Europe without proper reinforcements. And I mean, they bought Pino, didn't they? But they didn't equip the manager with a squad to do the job.
Yeah.
And now it's going to shit.
Yeah, and Glasner's bailing, so yeah, it could easily go to a lot of shit.
I mean, I'm kind of now celebrating Palace being shit because the shitter they are, the less likely we are to go for him. And yeah, he's not the guy. I'd prefer to have Carrick than him, I think.
Indeed. All right, we'll leave it there. No game in midweek, but we'll come back with some more nonsense at some point during the week, no doubt. And just enjoy your week, Reds.
Oh, Reds.
Bye now.
What a team.